Hi everyone, welcome back to Magic Language Learning with Hermione. But wait, today's episode isn't about Harry Potter, it's about Harry Plotter. Yes, you heard that right, not Potter but Plotter. And by that I mean Prince Harry. This playful nickname comes from a witty editorial written by British columnist Dominic Green. It's filled with Harry Potter references and British humor. And today I've chosen two of the most entertaining lines to help you know English vocabulary, idioms, and even a bit of satire. Let's dive in. Spares. Spare them and spare yourself, Harry. At first glance, it seems like a simple sentence, but it's packed with layers of meaning. The word spare is one of those English words with over a dozen definitions. In fact, if you check the Cambridge Dictionary, you will find it used from beginner to advanced levels. So which one is used here? Well, let's break it down step by step from the easiest to the most advanced and stay with me to the end because all the meanings are connected. We'll start with the most familiar meaning of spare as extra, something you keep just in case. For example, one of my friends always keep a spare key under the front doormat, which honestly is not the safest idea. Many people also like to keep a spare tire in the trunk of their car. Or if you're like me and always forget your pen during exams, you ended up asking the person next to you, "Can I borrow a spare pen?" Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, also plays on this definition in a more metaphorical way. He refers to himself as the spare heir, the younger, less important brother to the future king, Prince William. Now it gets deeper and a little magical. In the third Harry Potter movie, Dumbledore says, "If you succeed tonight, more than one innocent life may be spared." In this case, spared means saved. Sirius Black and Buckbeak are both saved from execution. At the most advanced level, spare appears in phrases like spare no expense and spare no effort. These expressions are used when someone does everything possible or spend as much as needed to achieve something. For example, celebrities often spare no expense on their weddings, and you might spare no effort in learning English. So what does spare as spare them and spare yourself, Harry, mean in the article? It means to help someone avoid an unpleasant experience. Think about Chamber of Secrets when Hermione accidentally turns herself into a cat with apologies potion gone wrong. The book says Madame Pomfrey took out her curtains again and placed them around Hermione's bed to spare her the shame. In this case, Madame Pomfrey helped Hermione avoid embarrassment. Here, the columnist is pleading with Harry, asking him to stop airing his grievances in public. He is asking Harry to avoid dragging the public into his personal problems, to avoid putting his family through more emotional pain or public criticism, and to avoid harming himself through more public exposure or backlash. Likewise, if you don't want to hear someone's excuses or all the unnecessary details of a story, you can say, "Spare me the excuses" or "Spare me the details." Now, let's pause for a moment and reflect. If you picture all the examples we just went through, a spare key, sparing someone's life, sparing someone's feelings, you will notice they have something in common. In each case, spare means to keep something aside. A spare key is something you keep aside in case you need it. To spare someone means to keep harm or shame aside to stop it from reaching them. And when you spare no expense, you hold nothing back at all. And when you spare no effort, you give everything you've got. That's the magical core meaning of spare. Now, on to the second line, and this one is a gem of British sarcastic humor. Every time Harry Potter, the half-wit prince, puts the knife into his brother, the fumbling assassin falls on his own blade. Call it Harry Curie. There's a lot to unpack here. First, let's start with the first word plot as a verb. To plot means to secretly plan something, usually something bad or tricky. For example, in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Dobby warns Harry. There's a plot, Harry Potter. A plot to make the most terrible thing happen at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry this year. Now, a plotter is someone who plots. So when the writer calls Prince Harry Harry Plotter, it's a pun on Harry Potter, but with a twist. Instead of being the brave and loyal wizard we all love, plotter here means someone who is scheming or stirring up drama, like accusing Prince Harry of secretly plotting trouble by revealing royal secrets and criticizing his family. Now, the fun part. A half-wit prince is a biting twist on the Half-Blood Prince, which is the title of the sixth Harry Potter book. The word wit means being clever or humorous with words. So if someone is called a half-wit, it means they only have half that ability. In other words, it's an insult. It's like calling someone a fool or a dummy. Let's talk about the word fumble. To fumble means to handle something badly, often because you're nervous, distracted, or in a hurry. Imagine this. You are giving a speech and suddenly forget your words mid-sentence. You could say, I fumbled with my words. It means you're struggling, stumbling over what to say, not smooth at all. Now I want to throw in two other great expressions that are similar to fumble. The first one is clumsy. If someone is clumsy, it means they're not very graceful, they move in a way that's awkward or uncoordinated. Like Neville Longbottom, who somehow manages to have an extraordinary number of accidents wherever he goes, always tripping over something, knocking things over, or getting dangled from the chandelier by the pixies. It's not rude, just a funny way to describe someone who's physically awkward and prone to accidents. The second one is a fun expression, I'm all thumbs. Let me give you an example. I was at Starbucks the other day, chatting and laughing with friends, and then boom, I knocked over my coffee everywhere. I looked at them and said, Sorry, I'm all thumbs today. That means my hands just aren't working properly. So remember, fumble is to handle something badly, often because you're nervous, distracted, or in a hurry. Clumsy describes someone who moves in an awkward or ungraceful way. All thumbs is an informal idiom meaning your hands feel uncoordinated or awkward. Let's bring it back to the original line. An assassin is someone who kills an important person, usually for political or religious reasons. For example, the person who killed President Kennedy is called an assassin. A blade is the sharp, flat cutting edge of a knife. And to put a knife into someone is an idiom. It means to say something hurtful or to damage another person's reputation. Picture this. Prince Harry tries to be a royal assassin, using his words instead of weapons, but it didn't go as planned. His attacks rebound, and in the end, he hurts himself. Then comes the final punchline, called Harry Kiri. This is a clever play on words. It sounds like harakiri, a form of ritual suicide in traditional Japanese culture, where a person will stab themselves in the stomach with a blade. But here, the writer is twisting the word in two ways. First, harikiri combines the prince's name with the act of self-destruction. It suggests that by constantly attacking his own family in public, Prince Harry is actually damaging himself. Second, it also ties back to the earlier line. The fumbling assassin falls on his own blade. In harakiri, the person literally falls on their own blade, so this metaphor shows that Harry's own words turn against him and harm his image. Before we wrap up, I want to give credit to the New York Post where this article was published. When I first heard the name, I thought it might be like the New York Times or the Washington Post, a serious traditional newspaper. But it turns out it's actually a tabloid, filled with celebrity gossip and flashy headlines. Still, this particular piece is cleverly written and gives us a great opportunity to explore rich, vivid English, full of humor, cultural references, and sharp wordplay. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Harry Potter, please let me know what's your favorite Harry Potter reference. Drop it in the comments below. And remember, as always, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'll see you in the next one.